Chengdu, China, with my video about Common Core standards and how they're being implemented or considered in my school. As I mentioned before, I'm in an international school in China. We are independent of American curriculum, an independent organization, private school, basically. So Common Core is not an edict for us to follow, nor is it something that we really aspire to follow. We kind of overtly avoid the standardized testing craze of the United States, and I will say that's a relief. We do, on the other hand, use Common Core approved materials. That it may be as much a marketing situation as it is really a choice of curriculum as what we believe is best. We appeal to expat communities, mostly American expats who are in the cities that our schools are. So because of that, we advertise and use American curriculum, and as the case with most American curriculum that you can get right now, it is Common Core approved. But we don't really advertise that as saying we choose Common Core curriculum. We simply say American curriculum to prepare students for returning to the United States or for finishing their education with us. As for implementing that curriculum, we actually go very much against a lot of the structure of our text that we even use. We have a mastery learning system that does not look at high stakes testing or even unit testing as an end result. Mastery learning is based on the idea that we will teach a lesson and assess the lesson, and if the lesson isn't learned, we'll teach the lesson again, and we'll reteach the lesson. And with small class sizes, usually between 10 and 15, it's a manageable situation, which is one of the things that makes international education so attractive to people overseas. We do have our own standards and our mastery learning standards, and they are a challenge, especially at the secondary level, where teachers that come from the United States are so accustomed to a point per assignment, add up the points at the end, and the number of points you have determines your level of success. So we very much look to imbue our staff with this idea that mastery learning is what we're really there for, this Benjamin Bloom approach, the belief that you're not done until the child has learned it and can prove they learned it, rather than just being done when you've taught the curriculum. In a way, it's a little bit of its own race to get all of our standards met, but it's certainly not it does not take on the feel that I had my last few years in the United States of chasing the test and perhaps even considering teaching to the test. In regards to how Common Core is going to affect things in my workplace, I hope not hardly. Frankly, in the last couple of years, it has turned into a situation where the parents that come to our overseas schools, when they hear that we don't follow Common Core, they're more relieved than concerned. Whereas a couple of years ago, we had parents looking to see that we're following that. Now it's almost that parents that are glad to be out of the Common Core system. And many of our parents are embassy or consulate, U.S. consulate parents, so they kind of go periodically between a posting overseas and then typically a year back in the United States. We have a lot of kids who've gone to Virginia public schools. And as a result, they used to come in saying, is this going to stay along the lines of what they were doing at whatever public school, university or school they were going to? Now they kind of say, what a relief to be away from that rigmarole. So honestly, I do hope that Common Core will not affect our current system in our overseas program. But again, as the curriculum we get changes, I suppose there is an impact, and however Common Core changes, I do imagine the materials we'll be able to get our hands on from the United States will be changed. Although I will say that our temptation in response to that would be to move away from American curriculum. The more we find Americans, especially overseas, the American education is being viewed more as a test-driven, inauthentic sort of way of learning, and we certainly aren't going to present ourselves as the opposite. So those are my thoughts on Common Core and how it translates to my international program. Thank you.